DLALANJE. Dlala Nje.
Dlala Nje.
Dlala Nje. Yeah,
Okay.
it means just play in English. Yeah.
I actually experienced with my family, my two daughters and my wife, we went to the area where there are a lot of migrants from countries like Mozambique, from Botswana, and they live in small little informal settlements. From outsider it could be very overwhelming if you come on your own. But Martin took us there right in the middle of the thing, and we could experience life the way it is, and the people are suffering on a day-to-day basis, but still they create a sense of joy by organizing education programs, by organizing some activities for them, some health checkups, whatever.
When it was now renovated, redeveloped. Because during the early 2000s, when I was still in my early years, Hillbrow was mostly known for all the bad things. The crime levels were high. It was impossible to do tours in that area, and Ponte was known as the most notorious building in that area. So I moved into Ponte when I was 14 years old, and then Dlala Nje opened a few months later, and Dlala Nje opened as a organization for kids. So it was an arcade game center. So we used to go there to play games like your football tables or pool tables, and it was just a space for kids to be safe, because you don't get a lot of safe spaces, because the recreational places like parks are predominantly used by adults because of the high unemployment rate. So then in those areas there's a big chance that you can shift from going there as a child to play and end up seeing all the negative things happening and getting involved with that. So Dlala Nje created that safe space for us as kids, and we started going there, and as it was an arcade game center, we started requesting a little bit more from the founders. Like we wanted to get internet, and we wanted to use computers, and then they slowly shifted from being an arcade game center to being a community center. And that was enabled by tourism. And the tourism part of it was never planned. The founders never sat down and said, hey, we're going to open a tourism company. But during the time of Nelson Mandela's death, we had a lot of journalists that were here to cover his passing. But during that moment, Nelson Mandela stayed alive for longer than they expected. So for a few months, there were these journalists from all over the world here in South Africa looking for things to do. And our founders, since they were the only white people that lived in the building at the time, people didn't believe that the building was safe. So somebody came up with an idea of saying, host us for a tour to prove that it's safe. Then that's how the tours were started. So then from there on, you were able to generate income. So that became a sustainable way to fund the community centers, and then we started getting more activities. We were exposed to many different things. So what we do, in one sentence, we create opportunities and we challenge people's perceptions. So the perceptions about any area, whether it's Soweto, whether it's Hillbrow, we're going to challenge you by taking you there, experiencing the culture and living with the people from that place.
So this talk was to basically ensure that people are aware of an organization like this which exists in this part of the world. So when you're coming to South Africa, you know whom to contact. And I've seen your thing. Great. Absolutely great. And I just hope that you reach out to more people. You, as a 14-year child, you joined them. Now you're a CEO of the organization. I sincerely hope that this grows much bigger than what it is today.
No, we definitely receive all those blessings and those wishes, because I mean it's that point that you just made now. Sustainability. It's something that we have learned during this time, because most organizations like ours, you depend on charity and people giving you money all the time, but then there's instances where people cannot give anymore, and this creates a sustainable way, which is what we are sort of trying to build here as well in Soweto. We're partnering with a few other organizations to introduce this tourism aspect, because tourism is one of the biggest contributors to our economy, and it's something that you can easily join. It's not that hard to join the tourism industry, because you are probably sitting on top of a culture that somebody wants to experience. So it's not, it's not as easy as, like, in the nice places like Senting, where you can go by yourself. You don't need anyone to introduce you, but then you experience that. You won't really experience the culture because people are usually in their cars or in their homes with their high walls. So unlike here, you see there's always someone sitting outside in the streets who will teach you something. There's always somebody who's selling something. There's that culture that you experience from areas like this. And our job is to take you there, experience it, and then you can build your own perceptions afterwards.
Famous thing back in the day was the Shebeen Queen, because the Shebeen used to run by our grandmothers or mothers. But if you're a Shebeen Queen, it means you have to be one clever woman, And even here, going with the first, most of the Shebeen Queens could. So my friend here wants me to sing one of my songs. So I'll just do my verse.
Sure. It's a Shebeen, so you have to sing.
Yeah, a Shebeen. So yes, I have to rap because it's a Shebeen. So I would say, ngihamba ngevura nyatura nyakura nyatora nyapora ngoba ngipora njalo nyakora lukura ngitipari nyajura nyamura nakhana gore kyafura mafuta atletipan skata kankan kushapa kampa mamampara from here to parak tatwara kuzobe ngathi vel chaswe kharakara ungangisondele ngizokugwara uzowara lagi muzopendo kumampara mabame kancane abubhala kaqani abazazi lezi ngoba vele imvela kancane sibahlephulele bazozethu kancane ngithi mbijana kancane ngithi stopani indelele izinto zihamba ngohlelo ithapalelo. Yeah, that's me. You know, I produce too, my brother. I don't just